And not just because we're kind of looking at our own scribbles. I think there's something more interesting going on in that loop. Or think of working with a highly practiced software package, looping there into a sort of active but semi-intelligent subsystem, which is pretty well what we do when we work with other people. We kind of loop into other active semi-intelligent subsystems, and if we're practiced enough with a different person, then I think they will count as extensions of our mental apparatus too. This complexity gets nicely highlighted in this rather famous exchange between the Nobel laureate physicist Richard Feynman and the historian Charles Wiener. Wiener once remarked casually, this is quoted from Gleick's wonderful biography of Feynman, Wiener once remarked casually that a batch of notes and sketches represented a record of Feynman's day-to-day work. Feynman characteristically reacted rather sharply to this and said, well, I actually did the work on the paper. Well, the historian said, the work was done in your head, but the record of it is still here. Feynman says, no, it's not a record, not really, it's working. You have to work on paper, and this is a paper, okay? It's exactly the flavour I want. So the thought there would be, look, it's not that all the thinking happens inside, and these loops out into body, media, etc. are just a convenience or a hedge against forgetting. Instead, these loops form part and parcel of complex, integrated, biotechnologically hybrid systems for thinking. So that's the idea behind the extended mind argument. There's been quite a sort of mini-industry built around this argument lately, and sort of the philosophical infighting takes place in supersizing the mind. Finally, in this area of the talk, you might think that BioU always has to instigate these loops. So people think, okay, these loops are doing interesting work, but it's the biological bit of the system that has to be the instigator, at least. I don't think that's true either. There's some interesting trials at MIT Media Lab of memory glasses. These are aids for people with impaired memory or visual recognition, so some anasagnosics that have trouble naming objects visually, for example, or people with impaired memory skills like mild Alzheimer's. This is someone wearing a set of memory glasses. There's quite a lot of kit under that jacket, not the sort of thing you'd want to walk through airport security wearing, you know, stuff under there. Okay, so what do the memory glasses do? They work by matching the current scene to stored information and cueing the subject. Now, so, you know, it might store information about the faces of your relatives, and when the memory glasses are pointed at one of them, it could tell you, okay, this is Auntie Ada, something like that, or Uncle John. This is what Uncle John does. So you can do it with a glasses mounted display, but this is the bit that I think is most interesting. The cue doesn't have to be over. You can just flash this information so quick at the Alzheimer's sufferer that the information is picked up unconsciously.